32 minutes after the hour now. Let's focus on you. Do you feel like you are as authentic as you can be? You're like, take it or leave it. And authenticity is one of the most important things that a person can have.
Our next guest is not a fan of the phrase, fake it till you make it. Dr. Dain Heer joins us to tell us why and how we can all find out if we're being true selves.
Yes.
Welcome. Glad you're here.
Nice to see you.
So what are we doing wrong? How do we figure it all out?
Well, the thing is, we do a lot of judgment of us. We've been taught when we were little kids, do what's right, not what's wrong. So we really have no clue. Then you add social media on top of it and people projecting an image about who they are. And then we get really confused because we want to be as great as they are. We just don't realize they're lying. So what we need to find out is what's actually true for us.
And how do we do that? I mean, we see ourselves every day. A lot of us are self-aware, right? And then you're just like, you look at yourself and you say, I like this about myself, I don't like this about myself. Do we focus too much on what we don't like? Or?
Well, I think part of what we require is the information that we're not wrong as we are, and we have different points of view than everybody else. Start embracing that difference, but at the same time, we need some inspiration. We need somebody who's saying, hey, I did this, and here's what it showed me about myself. And you go, oh, okay, cool. Now I know what's possible.
I love it that you have an authentic checklist so we can just take a look at this and get an idea of where we are, starting with you don't really care what other people think.
Exactly, and you especially don't care what they think about you. You know, if we look at how much time and energy we spend on other people's points of view about us and trying to fit into the box they try to put us in, when you don't, you actually become somebody who's a lot more authentic for yourself, and your world isn't about what everybody else thinks, it's about what you think.
Okay, so what you think of me is none of my business.
Take that.
And then number two, you have this too. It's like we don't have to fit inside a box or a role and put ourselves in that position.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they try to create an image so everybody else will like them or at least not dislike them. And they try to, you know, if we use social media as another example, it's like, my life is perfect. No. You know, that picture by the sunset was taken after the kids threw up and, you know, they missed their boat and, you know, all those sorts of things. So when we don't have to play any roles, then we actually get to ask ourselves, what is actually true for me here? And when we do that, there's a level of peace that comes into our lives that's awesome.
And you realize you have nothing to prove, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other part is we keep trying to prove so much to so many people. If we gave it up, what else would be possible? And you know, we spoke before the segment started, you know, you sort of figure this out by the time you're 40 or 50. What would it take for us to show our kids that they can start now?
What do you mean by this when you say we don't resist?
Have you ever had somebody say something about you that you knew wasn't true? Yeah, we all have, you know. And what we tend to do if somebody goes, you're selfish, you go, no, I'm not, and you resist. When you know what's true for you, somebody says, you're selfish, and you go, thank you for your point of view. And you move on. It's that easy, because you can't punch a marshmallow. If you're not resisting and reacting, you don't have anything to do. And it's this space where you're like, hi, you can have whatever point of view about me you want.
We need to figure out how to become present with everyone, with everything around us, right?
Yes, and that really is the target of this. And when you're present with your family, when you're present with the people you work with, people start to gravitate toward you. They're like, what's different about you? Well, you're not sort of going off in a billion different directions that don't have anything to do with the present moment. And, you know, we've got people for years who have said, you need to get more present. Well, it's actually a choice we have, but we need to make it.
Right. So you have this book here that you've been holding. And this is actually for us, right? It's the very greatest adventure. So I think this is what you're talking about, like a guideline, examples.
Yeah, this book is basically like chicken soup for your being. There's stories from people around the world that have found what it actually can be when they're being them. You know, there was one lady who was a photographer, and she was carrying hundreds of pounds of sandbags, and because she was trying to prove that she was as good as the guys, and her boss came over and said to her, I don't hire you because you're like the guys, I hire you because you're different and everything works when you're around.
So beautiful.
And there's hundreds of these in here.
So where do we find this book? Is it on
Amazon?
Okay.
Yes.
Amazon, the very greatest adventure.
Good to know.
You truly being you.
Oh, love. Thank you.
Dain Heer, thanks, and hopefully you'll like yourself even more after knowing this. Get comfortable in your skin. It feels real good, right?
True story.
True story. Well, here's a true story that you may not